Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 10. For me, I actually haven't touched this game in about 2 weeks. There's only a handful of days in between where you saw the last episode and when it posts. But I kind of grinded out some of these games first. I just had a really busy, crazy work week. Played a little bit last night. Um, I should say work 2 weeks. Played a little bit last night just to kind of refresh where we're at in this season. Um, I've played most every game up until the first year player draft because I wanted Matt McClain to play in a lot of different spots because that's just where I thought his value might be highest right now. Um, so this team has been really good. There have been some changes. There have been some additions, some subtractions to try and make this team better. First base, we kind of thought would be a little bit more of a competition than it actually was. Um, and so we'll get into it. We're at the first year player draft. It's June 23rd. We're 45 and 26, 19 games over 500. This team is performing very, very well. So let's get into some of the transactions first. If you didn't look already, we traded for Mr. Nick Castellanos to play first base. He was great, really, really good in his 20 games in Philly. Still really good for us, 115 OPS plus, just not lighting the world on fire. But we needed first base help. Palmegiani got hurt for a while. We kind of are shoehorning him in at right for now just to get his bat in the lineup. And he's been really good offensively, very, very much positive. But he was hurt for 2 weeks at the start of the season. And what that meant was Trey Morgan got first crack at the full time first base job, and he was not good. He had 33 plate appearances, 7 starts, 12 games. He went 4 for 29, only 7 strikeouts, which is good, but only one walk, no extra base hits, 138, 242, 138, an OPS plus of 8, and minus zero point 0.3 WAR, which I guess is not the worst when you look at how bad the line really was. But so after that, Palmegiani and the Castellanos trade, I sent it back down. I wanted to see him kind of mash everything before I kind of pulled him back up. And he's been good. Nothing lighting the world on fire, but good. The power numbers are never really going to be there. But if he can get on base at an above average clip and hit some hits, then I think we're looking okay. And play some good defense. I know first base defense doesn't matter all that much, but it's still nice to have. So that was the first major issue of the season. The second major issue was, let's go to the injured list. Organization. Injured list. Here we go. Edwin Arroyo got hurt for a while himself. If we look, he's been 1 to 2 weeks injury, then a mild calf strain knocked him out. So I put him on the injured list. So that's 2 weeks out, plus a week for a herniated disc. So that's a 10-day. And then he just got put on last week with another herniated disc injury. So very quickly, he's becoming kind of injury prone this year. Just like a lot of nagging stuff, which is really unfortunate because he's been so good already. In only 49 games, he's put up 2 WAR, 130 OPS plus. He's been really, really good with this spectacular infield defense. So it's been hurting. And so what I had done last week was I pulled him up. I took him off his rehab assignment um, for the second game of a doubleheader. He just came back up. The second game of a doubleheader, and so is he on? Oh, he's still on the injured list. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got confused. I took him off his rehab assignment for the second game of a doubleheader, and he had to come out. So that wasn't great. But overall, we've been pretty lucky with the health. We did some bullpen maneuvering, I guess you could say, and we kind of did it early. I was a little bit impatient, and the price for some of these was not anything crazy. I'm just trying to find it. This was all like early. Joe Mantiply we traded for. Good profile. Decent salary, which we got the Giants to retain 55%. And I don't think we gave up anything really of note. Dennis Boatman, for some reason, they wanted this dude. I guess I could see it, right? 3+ pitches. The control is not great. The movement is not great, but the stuff is fine. Bad personality. So why they would want him, I don't know. But he's only 25, and I guess it's not, he's not a prospect, especially for a $3.5 million reliever who's about to cost 4.5 at age 34. But he's been good for us in 17 innings, .53 ERA, 13 strikeouts, BABIP of 213, and then half a WAR. So pretty good season so far. Is mostly a lefty specialist. That was the first major domino. Oh, here's the Castellanos trade. Kwon Hu Park, 21-year-old reliever. Jason Batari, 24-year-old outfield prospect. Antoine Valencia, 20-year-old shortstop. And a 25-year-old left-handed reliever for Nick Castellanos. They just kind of wanted to get off his deal. They retained 85% this season and next, so it's not like he's necessarily a rental either. And that's when Trey Morgan got optioned down on the 25th. I think he's been up once since then, but really not extended. So that was for April. For May, there was another deal somewhere around here. The computer adjusted a lot of these rookie young players. Juan Martinez came up. Hogan Harris went down. Juan Martinez has been really good so far. He could start, I suppose, with this 40 stamina. He could start. He could be like a 5 and dive guy. But in the bullpen right now, he's been pretty good. Framber Valdez came up. Hogan Harris was designated, and then Valdez we traded away. Just with the deal, the contract, I just had to, and his ratings all tanked. He had a bad rehab stint. I shouldn't say bad, but below average, not what you want to see at AAA. So he went down, and then we dealt him to Minnesota. The Astros are still retaining their 80%. We got them to retain. We didn't retain any money. And then we sent away this 25-year-old reliever who was interesting. Where did he go? Framber. We sent away that reliever. Jose Franco, who could be something if this contact control kind of pops. Tyler McGill, who was bad. Man, he was not anything we really needed. He only pitched in 4 2/3 innings. I didn't give him the chance to right the ship. 6 games, 0-3, ERA of almost 10. He gave up 5 earned, 2 home runs, 5 walks, and 4 2/3. I just said we're done here. So I sent him away because I got back Nick Gordon, who just looks like depth at this point. He could possibly help out as some infield depth, and he's got good personality ratings. Doesn't really have a home anywhere except maybe second and left, but we're fine in left right now. Only making $2 million, but so we got him back, and we traded back for Jalen Beeks, who is on the last year of his deal. We got the Twins to retain some of the money. I just had a comment on one of the prior videos about settings and hard mode and things like that, and I'm not running hard mode because I don't like that you have to wait a day to hear back, but it feels more realistic, so you can't get your maximum return on some of these trades, but I prefer that over the unrealism of waiting entire days to hear back about a trade. I don't think that's very realistic, where you could haggle for teams, and then if they're just like, no, we're not doing it, then it's okay. But anyway, Jalen Beeks is back. If you recall, he helped us in 2024. Um, and oh, I guess that was last season. He helped us last season. And so we traded back for him to help with our bullpen. And very, very quickly, we kind of revamped the bullpen again. And there's some guys who kind of took hits. The bullpen hasn't been super, super fantastic this season. Anyway, that's the Framber Valdez deal. Nick Lodolo came up. He pitched fine ish for a good chunk of the year. He just came back up for that other doubleheader I mentioned earlier. But mostly AAA right now. He just looks like a depth starter at this point in his career. He's 27. This is probably pretty much what he is. He's eligible for arbitration this season, so who knows what his long-term future is. But having him as our sixth starter at AAA right now is useful. Jonathan Loizaga I pulled up for a little bit. He was having a good season at AAA, and then he came up, pitched 2 1/3, and sent him right back down with a 15 ERA. So he had some bullpen outings. We called up Drew Bowser for some infield help, and he's hit pretty well so far. Two bombs in 12 games, 9 starts. OPS of 848 with a 127 OPS plus. That's a pretty good start for him. His power numbers are good, so who knows what he's going to look like. My scout still seems some development in his future, but that's probably defensively related. So I don't know how much this bat is really going to play, but he also turned into a ground ball hitter with an extreme pull. So I like the extreme pull, but not necessarily the ground ball hitter. The computer sent Cam Collier back down to AAA, and I think he just came back up to high A. This is about the time I need Cam Collier to start mashing a little bit. He's got to come up pretty soon in the next few years and start proving some real development. And so now we get to June, not major moves in May. Framber was actually designated and then moved. RJ Mayer finally made it to Double-A, our favorite defensive stud outfielder with the 90 overall in center. He is somebody you should take in the draft if he's available at some of those lower rounds because of that defensive ability. And it just, whether he makes it to the majors or not, that helps your younger pitchers down in the minor leagues. So here's that deal, the Framber Valdez deal, which we already talked about. Chase Petty is up in the bullpen right now. He was really good at AAA. The computer sent him down to AA, which was probably a mistake, but now he's in AAA. I don't think he's going to be a starter. I think he's a bullpen stopper type guy. This control is fine. The stuff is good. The movement's good. The pitches are good, but the stamina's not. So he is a real life starting pitching prospect for the Reds, but he's just not. I don't think he's going to be a starting pitching prospect for us. I think he's a reliever long term, maybe spot starter. Speaking of relievers, Garrett Crochet I sent down. He was fine at the major league level. Not good, not great. The WAR number is pretty good. His BABIP's a little inflated, but he's making $4 million. He's eligible for 5.5, and at this point I don't know if he's really quite worth it to give him that 5.5. Kike Hernandez hasn't played very much. He's only making $2 million, excuse me, but the line is not great in 43 plate appearances, but that's not really where his value is. His value is plug and play and try not to be as bad as he has been, but I think, as the last guy on the bench, I think it's fine for now. I sent him down for Edwin Arroyo, and then Arroyo got hurt. A lot of different movement from the AI with some of our prospects, and that's pretty much about it right now. So we're at first year player draft. I haven't even looked. Haven't even looked yet. The standings are good. The offense has been good. Shohei and Ellie obviously carrying the team right now. I hate when it does this. We gotta, I don't know. Matt McLean's been good, not as good as he was last season, which is fine, but still good. And he's playing all over the diamond. For some reason, it threw him at. I think I accidentally clicked catcher once, so that's why it has technically this right here. 23 innings at first, 219 at second, 10 at third, 54 at short, 64 in left, 8 in center, and 217 in right. So he's predominantly played second and right so far this season, but he's gotten, 6 starts at short, 6 at left, 1 in center, 3 at third, 2 at first. So he's kind of playing all over the place. The only place he's really a major negative is center. So that's probably why he got pulled in that ninth inning. He's been good at second, fine everywhere else. So, getting his bat in the lineup and playing him in different spots every day, I think is probably a good play here for Matt McLean. Just because when Arroyo comes back, then Marte moves to second. Matt McLean's kind of a man without a home. Maybe Palmegiani takes a day off. Maybe Fairchild. Maybe Castellanos. So there's play, and having a good bench is helpful, and having him play in a different spot, giving days off, is helpful. Having like a Ben Zobrist type, where this guy comes in, plays every day in a different spot, and gives a day off to whoever's starting. Mr. Cade Hunter has been a good offensive player for us, but we're giving JT the run because he's the better defender. The bat has not come around this season for JT. He started pretty hot. But he really cooled off. April was, I guess he wasn't as good as I thought. The slash looked better than I guess it really was, but June was good so far. So he's picked it up a little bit. I don't know what I was looking at when I thought he was better than that. Castellanos, we talked about. He's been good so far. Ellie's been good. He basically has a 20. Oh, he does have 2020 already, and we're only at the draft. So 40-40 season potentially incoming for Ellie. That would be pretty cool. He's projected for 46 and 59. So this contract extension we signed him to looks like a steal, even if he opts out after 2033. This still looks like a really good deal, and one of probably my smarter out of the park decisions. Matt McLean isn't really willing to negotiate at a price point I like right now, and we have Otani locked up. Bowser we talked about. Palmegiani really has picked it up lately. He started cold himself, and maybe I didn't give him a real rehab assignment. That's how bad Trey Morgan had been in my head. So I didn't give him a rehab assignment. He started out pretty cold and then picked it up. So see, his April was bad, but May was fantastic, and June has been pretty good. So this kind of deal where I got him for, Clark Schmidt and Donovan Benoit has really kind of been good for me. The ratings don't suggest he should be as good a hitter as he has been, but I'm not going to complain about it. Fairchild's been good, not great. Noelvi Marte has been good, not great. The bat hasn't really picked up to the point that it did last season. That's a pretty big drop-off, but he also only played half the year last year, and so some regression was probably expected, but I just wish this lived somewhere in the middle rather than these two extremes we have going on. But still positive, which I think is important. Siani has been positive with the bat and a stellar defender as always. As we get into this kind of more expensive contract for him, it might get a little scary. So if we come across a defensive center fielder who can put up similar defensive numbers, maybe worse offensive numbers, we will think about trying to see what value he has in a trade, but that's a few years down the road, I think. JT we talked about him a little bit. The glove has been phenomenal. I haven't checked in on Mr. Tyler Stevenson, but 104 OPS plus, a 1.1 WAR, but worst defender. So I kind of traded offense for defense, I think, here, which is fine because I don't really necessarily need his bat to be fantastic, but I would like it to be better than it has been. Jay Allen as our backup outfielder has been bad, but he's not really up here for his bat. He's also only had 35 plate appearances. Um, that's one of the things with Matt McLean playing a lot is some of these bench guys haven't really played all that much. And that's fine for me, right? Like Cade Hunter's only had 100 plate appearances. He's only projected for 2. Um, that could even out as JT kind of plays worse. We could play Cade a little bit more. We could throw him in the first base mix if that, kind of becomes more of an issue. But, Kike and Jay Allen haven't played all that much. And I think this overall encompassing stat of WAR tells us that, maybe if they played more, this would be a little bit better. But we don't really have the luxury of playing them more because you know, we have a really stellar Ben Zobrist type playing every day, essentially. So strategy I haven't looked at in a while either. I don't think I've touched it since last year. Um, the money's been good so far, good, not great. We didn't start that great, but we've definitely picked it up lately. And I think that's pretty much it for all the major moves. Excuse me. Oh, that one came out of nowhere. Yeah, so Trey Morgan not been playing great. I do want to see some of these top prospects. He's 17. It doesn't mean anything yet. He's probably 1 year away from going up to rookie ball. Cam Collier, we hit real quick. Not great at high A yet. Good at A, but this is now his 3rd season jumping between A ball and high A. He's angry about it. So part of me wants to just like throw him at double A and see what happens. Because I also think sometimes performance is based on morale, and if we just pop him up to double A, he just becomes unhappy. So let's hope he can kind of be better at double A. Trey Morgan, we hit. Juan Martinez, our number 4 prospect, is in the major leagues and pitching well. He is a 21-year-old with a 70 potential, which is kind of crazy. He's playing an A ball, not great. I don't know why he's angry. Team record, performance role, and team chemistry. Yeah, if you're a 70 potential, you should be playing every day. So let's just do that. Let's figure it out later. So I don't know. Pretty good if he develops decent floor. He's already 21, so I don't even remember this guy, to be honest with you. Oh, he wasn't me. He was a real life international free agent. Um, Number 6 prospect Carlos Jorge is 21 in high A, mashing in his limited plate appearances. And then a lot of these guys are just like a whole lot of lottery tickets, to be honest with you. Nestor Laurent, Alfredo Duno. Yeah, a lot of these guys are just lottery tickets. Ty Pete, if you remember from a few seasons back, he was one of our prospects. So overall, it doesn't feel that deep of a system. I think this number 8 is a little top heavy with Brault and Morgan and maybe Collier too. So I think it's top heavy. And I don't really know where the next wave of talent is going to come from. Morgan's going to be good. Collier, I hope, starts to develop a little bit. Aiden Harris might be fine, but this personality rating isn't great, so he could be someone we move for some help. It's really hard to develop pitchers, so I'm not super worried about the bullpen or starting rotation. Those are guys you kind of trade for starters and develop relievers, in my opinion. That's kind of a better way to do it. But not a whole lot of exciting prospects down here. But we're not really in that mode right now. We're in win now mode, and that's totally fine. I think it's crazy. We didn't even really talk about Shohei, and he's still having like such a good season. That's kind of how it goes in real life too. He's 3.69 ERA on the mound. Not as good so far as the last 2 years, but still fine. And his bat has been the best this year as it has been in every sim season so far, 23, 4, 5. So I just wanted to talk about him real quick because sometimes we kind of forget to talk about Shohei because we just assume how good he is. And this contract is looking better by the minute. Um, I think most of the contract buttons I've pushed so far have been the correct ones. Hunter Green might not be. He is very difficult to pin down for me. I think it might come from pitching in Cincinnati, but he's got how many more seasons until his age 29? It's not an unreasonable number. That's like number three type numbers, but logic says he should be better than a number three. His bombs are up because his movement's low. He's a fly ball pitcher, which, if you remember in one of the last couple episodes, he became neutral and he's back up to being a fly ball pitcher. He's had some rough starts. He's had some great starts. It's not been consistent for Hunter Green. I know why we didn't talk about Shohei. We didn't even touch the pitching staff. Castillo has not been very good. He's been fine, but not good. And I think, as a number two, you'd want a little bit more, but he's also making $11 million. So that's number five type money for our number two, and we'll be happy with that. Hunter Brown has been good, which was kind of pleasantly surprising. He's on pace for 30 starts, 155 innings. So he's a five and dive type guy right now. I have him limited to 21 batters faced. And good old friend Reiver Sanmartin has come up to the major leagues. Really good run until I took control in this game yesterday, and he just got lit up. I was just looking for some length, and whatever kind of happened, and he couldn't even get out of the fourth. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 11 earned, 3 bombs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. So not a good game, a negative game score. But before that, if you look, a 2 ERA in 37 innings. So bound for some regression, but a good friend Reiver Sanmartin just can't escape this team, and I can't escape my need for him. Easily one of my favorite out of the park players, probably of all time at this point, just because he just kind of keeps sticking around. He just keeps existing for this team, and I think that's pretty cool. Anywho, how did he get here? Signed by the Rangers as a free agent in 2015, traded by the Rangers to the Yankees, and then traded in a 3-team trade in 2019. But what was that trade? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. What is it? 1/21/2019. Let's go. 1/21/2019. Yankees trade. Sorry, you guys can't see anything, but I'm typing. And I also might have accidentally cut out the music or the audio because I don't know which hotkey is my audio pause anymore. Oh, and the Sonny Gray trade. Okay, he was part of the Sonny Gray trade. Sonny Gray, where's the return? Cashman traded. The Yankees announced they had sent Gray and a minor league pitcher to the Reds in exchange for a second base prospect, Shed Long, and a draft pick. And then the Yankees sent Long for Josh Stowers, who was rated as the Mariners' 10th best prospect. Okay, so that minor league pitcher was Reiver Sanmartin, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I learned something today. So that's kind of where we are at right now. Lane Henderson has been good in the bullpen. Not electric, but good. And we take good. He's on pace for another 43 saves, which I think is cool. I'm not a big, older stat guy. I don't really care about wins and losses. I don't really care about ERA all that much, to be honest with you. I kind of care more about FIP and ERA plus and FIP minus and strikeout percentage, and those kind of numbers are kind of what I care about for everything except saves. Saves is my favorite traditional pitching stat, and he's making the minimum. He's arbitration eligible, and the more saves he accrues this season, the higher his number goes, but I think it's really cool having this guy who came up as a 26-year-old in 2023 that we traded for. He's now 29. You know, have a lot of saves. He had 15 for the Tigers before we got him. He's got 41 last year. He's got 19 this year. So I love saves. I think they're really cool. I think they're fun. Jalen Beeks, we talked about. Michael King has been fantastic. Tyler Rogers has been fantastic. Giovanni Moran came up. He's been fantastic in 12 innings. Juan Martinez has been great in his 10 innings. Joe Mantiply has been great. Camilo Doval has been good. Nothing special, but good. 3.13 ERA. Obviously, his movement and his plus pitches and his plus stuff provide some really good value. And since he doesn't accrue saves, his arbitration numbers are lower, so we can pay him less. Something I absolutely hate in real life, but this is a video game and I'm in charge of the budget, so I kind of have to worry about how much people get paid. Chase Petty just came up again. He had an early stint with us, 9 2/3. Where I want the games. Yes. Oh wait, no. So he just. Oh, I think I remember. All right, so MLB. Yeah, so he pitched. He got one out, gave up 6 earned runs early in the season against Boston. 10 days later, he pitched 6 innings in a spot start, or maybe it was a like a follow after somebody got hurt. 3 hits, 2 earned, 4 walks, 4 Ks, and then just pitched 3 1/3, 2 hits, 1 earned, 1 bomb, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. So that's why the ERA number is a little high. That's why the WAR number is a little high. But I think we don't have easy subs right now, and the 40-man roster is pretty much full. It is full. Like Nestor Laurent could be a bullpen help. So I think most of the bullpen help for now, unless I take some of these guys off the team, is going to be internal. I don't really see where much help is going to be coming from right now externally because of where the 40-man is. This guy's interesting. I forgot I claimed him. Anyway, so that's that. I think we're going to get into the draft for next episode. I'm going to poke around, see who's available, see who's here, kind of write out a tentative plan for this draft, and then we're going to get into it after. I am actually kind of excited for this draft. I've been watching a lot of draft videos. I watched one from PF Holden. I think I watched one from Sporer. And Old School Sports is doing a Buffalo Wing expansion team, which is so cool. If you guys haven't checked it out, go watch those. And I thought it was fantastic. And just watching it, and the early part was the draft and the international free agency, and there was not a whole lot of major league movement. And so that kind of made me think about the draft in different ways right now. And so I'm kind of excited to put some of that new knowledge to the test and kind of see it and firsthand and go through it. But yeah, that's where we're at the draft, June 23rd. I don't think anybody's even close to us right now. Yeah, the Cardinals are 1.5 back, so that's close, but we're a good team. This is a good team again. We need to supplement, and we're gonna go through the draft, and it's probably the next episode. So overall, I'm pretty happy with where we're sitting at. Edwin Arroyo can come back soon, and without any major injuries, I think we're set. So thanks for helping me kind of get my brain back out of the park, because I have most of the other scheduled videos finishing this week. And so I had to sit down. This is my day off today. I had to sit down and say, "Oh, I need to create some videos. People are gonna want to see them, and I need to keep myself accountable." So anyway, that's the mini rant. There's probably a little bit more personal information than I've given the last few days in this episode. But anyway, I will. I'm gonna get into the draft. I'm gonna poke around. For you guys, it'll be like 2 days in between videos, but for me, it'll be like an hour. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you in the next episode. Enjoy the rest of your day.